right. YouTube is recording, audio is recording, and just for shits and giggles, we'll start recording on my computer.
Now I want mayonnaise.
Right?
Now I want to eat mayonnaise with a spoon.
Ew, that's so gross.
Really
Sounds
is.
about white.
Yeah.
All right, this one is a doozy.
A doozy?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be like,
Doozy.
why are you talking about mayonnaise? So recap, John doesn't like poutine, so I started questioning him on what he dips his fries in. Boring, only ketchup.
What do you dip yours in?
Mayonnaise or ketchup.
And I'm bareback.
Or gravy. You would take gravy.
Oh, I drink gravy.
I've been known to get wild sometimes. I'll dip it in the barbecue sauce.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
Not a
as I get
barbecue
older,
sauce fan.
I agree with you that they're good plain too.
Yeah.
It's like you get more bland.
Depends on the chip.
Yeah, well, McDonald's.
A good French fry should be able to be eaten.
McDonald's seems to
plain.
have changed their, I don't know if it's their grease or whatever else. I find their fries now, they have a stranger taste.
Maybe they need to clean their deep fryer, the one you go to.
No.
Maybe they clean it too much.
Maybe that's the problem.
All right.
All right, listener letter. Happy Monday.
Ooh.
I am a woman in my early 30s. Remember, I'm reading on behalf of this person. This is not about me.
No,
I'm
you're
a
a woman
woman
in your early 20s, we know.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
I'm a woman in my early 30s in an artistic freelance service job, and I routinely communicate with clients via text. Early in my career, I became friends with a woman I completely adored. We spent a lot of time together before having children, and our lives drifted apart. But we stayed in touch through social media. A few years ago, her husband began contacting me through texts under the ruse of a professional project, but quickly turned the conversation to sexually explicit suggestions. I was extremely uncomfortable, as I've always felt a deep friendship type love for for his wife, and wanted nothing to do with his nasty suggestions. I didn't tell her because I didn't want to cause problems, and simply laughed him off and told him I'm only available to discuss art projects. I wish I had told him to eat shit and then forwarded the text to his wife.
You sure you didn't write this?
Now, his wife has reached out to me requesting to spend more time together because she's been diagnosed with an untreatable cancer and was given about a year.
Oh my God, I just got chills.
Yeah. She and her husband are still married, and I hope to be spending more time with her. I feel I shouldn't mention the horrible text from her husband a few years ago, but I'm now racked with guilt for having not said something previously.
Oh my God.
This is something I should keep to myself, right? Unless she brings up other misdeeds her husband has fessed up to me in the meantime.
Oh my God. Oh my God. OMG. This is a doozy. Wow. First of all, I'm so sorry to the wife. That's so
I know.
sad. God, life is hard.
I also wonder how long he's known about her cancer. If it was a recent diagnosis.
Yeah, sounds like it
or
was.
if she was diagnosed a couple years back when this behavior started. Because while his behavior is disgusting, everyone heals and handles with really horrible news in different ways. And this could have been his way of maybe like dealing with it and protecting himself from the hurt he actually feels.
Yeah, maybe. Does our writer have a name? What are we calling
No.
her? Okay, writer. I wonder if this is more about her healing and her feeling guilty for not telling her friend rather than trying to help the friend. Because if this friend is going through this horrible battle and potentially is going to be passing away, how is this going to help her?
Right.
Like, ignorance is bliss in a situation like this. Why? She doesn't need to know that. She's
Yeah.
dying, you know? Hopefully not, but maybe. And
Well, it sounds pretty bad.
Oh,
She
that's
said
awful.
They terminal and they gave her a year.
Oh.
So
no, I don't think you
I
need to
don't
talk.
think. Yeah.
But I do have a but about this because oh my God, I hate that I have to talk about my real life. Since I've been single, which has been a year now, people, I don't have some hang up on my ex-boyfriend. It's just we were together for a really long time. No, I don't. We were together for a really long
Right.
time, so it's relevant to my life experience of the past 14 years.
And you guys were young, too. Like, you started dating in high school, right?
But I say that to so I know I bring them up a lot, and it's not because I'm like want to talk about them. It's just because it's relative to my life experience.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So now that's out of the way. But since I've been single, I have heard from a couple different guys that my ex was trying to hit on them or
While
like
you were still together.
Yes, and like slide up in their DMs. And I remember thinking, well, thanks, bitch, for telling me when it could have helped me in this situation.
But
And-
would it have helped?
but that's the thing. And they said, well, I didn't want to cause problems and da-da-da. And looking back, well, I don't know. It probably would have just caused a fight. And I don't know that I would have dumped him because of
You
a
wouldn't
flirty
have.
text.
I don't think you would have broken up at all.
Probably not, because there's other ones that I knew about and we didn't break up. I mean, gay men are a lot looser that way.
Right.
But
yeah, I know you guys are loose.
Well, do your Kegels. I'm doing
Your
them right
butt
now.
Kegels?
Yeah, I'm doing them. Look, you're doing them right now too.
I do it when I drive all the time too. It's actually a great test of how much butt muscle I have left after not going to the gym for like 7 weeks.
Well, you haven't gained weight at least.
Oh, my pants are fitting mighty snug though.
But anyway, so I'm like, it makes me think, well, would I, when you know after the fact, hindsight's 2020, and it's like, would I have rather known? Like, now it makes me think he's more of a sleazebag, but it more makes me judge the messenger, because I'm like, oh, why didn't you tell me when I was in a relationship, but now you'll tell me that I'm single? So you kind of end up shooting the messenger, which is what I would worry would happen to our writer.
Right.
You know?
But if she passes away and you have that guilt riding on you forever, like that's damaging too.
Yeah, you're the one that's got to live in the world.
Right. I honestly think you should maybe have like a serious chat with him, because you don't know what the actual picture is. So maybe she's been sick. Maybe they were going to get divorced before, but then she got sick, so they decided not to. And even though they're there supporting each other emotionally while she goes through this horrible thing, maybe romantically they have gone their separate ways.
Yeah,
It still doesn't excuse him contacting you under a ruse that he wants work done, and then switching it to being creepy.
That's under the category of Me Too.
That's sexual harassment.
Yes, that's Me Too.
Straight up. And I hate her response was to laugh it off. And I'm not blaming the writer, because all of us women are guilty of doing that. So many times in professional situations, men have turned from what you thought was a professional conversation into an inappropriate conversation. And instead of actually standing our ground and being like, this is inappropriate, we do the ha 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 and try to change the subject. Mm-hmm. And that's horrible.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing that the whole Me Too movement has helped with. You've heard that a million times with Harvey Weinstein, especially if it's a man that's in power. Yeah.
And if he's your client, that is power, because that client is money.
Yeah. But what I wonder is, did the husband at one point ever say to her, don't tell my wife? Or, because you just made me think maybe they did have an open arrangement and he doesn't care if she knows about it.
Right.
Maybe it's fine.
You've also heard of sometimes when someone is terminal and is about to pass away, they kind of give their spouse or their partner that free range. I want you to be happy after I'm gone.
I've heard of that
too. So
too.
if you want to start dating now, then go ahead. But there's a way to approach someone when you want to date them and you like them, and there's one where you just want sexting conversations. Right. And it sounds like he was purely going after the sexting.
But what you just said about the terminal thing, it was interesting to me, because I kind of think if I was the one passing away and I was in a serious relationship, it would be comforting to know the person's new spouse or boyfriend, because it's not like this mysterious, when I die, who are they going to end up with? If you know the person and you develop a little relationship with them, it could be kind of nice.
And it could make the transition for when after they're gone. It could make the transition, especially if they have children or anything like that. It could make it a bit easier.
Fuck that. I'm petty as hell. I don't want him to ever move on. You stay alone forever.
I 100% believe that you need to keep this secret to yourself.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to be gained really by going there,
other than clearing her conscience, which is a bit selfish.
Right.
Yeah,
you're right.
The friend, you. It sounds like your friend is in a bad situation and may not be with us much longer. And once she passes, you've got every opportunity to sit down with that husband and read him the riot act,
Right.
Or date him.
or that. Sure.
But I just would be so concerned that if I told her what the stress would do to her health.
Yeah,
That's it.
How does that benefit the friend? It
No.
doesn't.
But I get where the writer's coming from, because it's the girl code thing, and she feels bad that she didn't do the right girlfriend
And
thing.
she feels this strong bond with this woman,
Right.
too. It's like your best friend almost.
So it'd be, okay, so let's pretend it was us. I would feel that level of guilt if I knew your boyfriend was trying to cheat on you and I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
I would really feel bad about that, because we have a close relationship.
But if you want to tell her just to get that guilt off your shoulders, then like you said, it is a very selfish thing to do.
Because now that she's terminal, she has the guilt, but she
Right.
didn't have the guilt before.
Right.
Yeah. Because if it was me and you, I would be feeling guilty the minute. I wouldn't even wait 10 minutes, I would tell you, I think. Well, I don't know. See, this is...
And I think anybody who were to date either one of you would know that about
Yeah,
you too.
yeah.
It wouldn't be so silly as to...
Yeah. Well, if Jenna's boyfriend was hitting on me, she's got bigger fish to fry.
Right? Don't tell me, please. I don't even want to go down that road. Like, I'm sure I'll figure it out on my own.
Yeah. But that is a good question. So when I put us into this scenario, it kind of changed my thinking because if you were super happy with this guy, would I want to be the one responsible for hurting your happiness if I know he's a sleazebag? And maybe that's why some of these guys that texted me about my ex didn't tell me because they think we're happy.
Yeah, usually I would say, you know what? Call this person out. That's kind of my style.
Yeah.
However, because she's dying, unfortunately, I think you need to
Bury it. Yeah. She can find out when she's a ghost and then haunt you if she's
And if you
mad.
still have guilt issues afterwards, then you can solve it with that man and take it out on him and be like, the fact that you put me in this position to begin with is really fucked up.
Yeah.
And because you know what? I also believe too that I don't think because he did this, he necessarily doesn't love his wife.
No, and that's the problem with monogamy.
Probably changed, and he
Yes.
just got because dealing with a partner that's passing away could probably make you feel very alone
Oh, yes.
and lonely. So I think because the actions that he's portraying is the actions of a man who's lonely.
Or horny.
Well, usually when men are lonely, they're horny. Right?
Or hungry.
When
or
the
tired,
wind blows a
or
different
hungover.
direction, they get hungry.
All the H words here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But oh, geez.
Because I've seen some people act in very erratic ways, very uncharacteristic when they're faced with trauma.
And death is the biggest trauma.
Right. And especially one where it's like, okay, you have a year to live. Like,
Well, yeah, and panic sets in.
Holy
Like, what am I
cow.
going to do? And
Right.
But
we
we-
start dating now at this point in my life. And
But remember, we don't know that these texts happened when she was sick. It sounds to
true.
me like
No,
it
they happened before.
So yeah, so he was just being a dog,
a few years ago.
and this is a big thing for any cheating guys out there.
Why do we always make excuses for them?
I'm not making an excuse.
I did. I just made a few excuses
But
for them.
I do because I think we're humans, we're animals, and just because you want to have sex with more than one person doesn't mean you don't love your spouse.
Right.
I think love and sex can be mutually exclusive. They don't have
I
to be
agree.
tied
It's
true.
together.
I absolutely agree.
I have not loved every man I've had sex with them.
See?
Sex with.
Exactly. In fact, most you probably have.
Actually, I can't.
But
I
did
haven't
you-
loved
but did-
many people in my life.
But did you love the sex?
Yeah, that.
See, and that's where it gets blurry. That's where it gets blurry.
Right.
So I don't think cheaters are necessarily like soulless, uncaring pieces of shit.
Yeah.
They're just a bit dishonest.
But when your partner's dying,
well, then yeah,
that makes it a little soulless.
But this was a while ago. She said so. She told him what's what. Which good friend, you did the right thing by telling him it's only professional. She didn't take the bait, which is tempting
So in
for a lot
this
of
case,
people.
it's almost better that it happened a couple years ago than it happened now.
I think so. Well, I don't know because would it be more excusable now because
Or was
she's
his
sick and dying?
intent different back then? At least, like, if he did it now, he would have the excuse of, I'm confused, I'm sad,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, I was lonely one night, drinking,
I knew she was your friend.
right.
Felt
But
like
a couple
you-
years ago, he didn't have an excuse.
Well, a couple years ago, was it like that Patrick Swayze movie? And she's an artistic person, and she was doing something with pottery, and they had that.
Oh,
moment,
Ghost?
and- yeah.
Yeah, take a lesson from that movie. This bitch, if she kicks
See?
it, she'll come floating back down and say, "Hey, honey, I know
Then
what you
there's
did."
that. I went there without even intending to.
But
yeah.
you're right. So if the friend that wrote us believes in the afterlife or spirits or anything, she might be
Or
worried
karma.
that her friend is going to find out when she dies.
Yeah.
And then what? So you might want to tell her before she's a ghost. I don't know.
Oh, could you imagine? Like, when do you tell her on her deathbed? Like,
Tuck a note into the casket. There, I told you.
right? Just so you know.
I've
Her
heard of people doing
husband
that.
sent me
though.
dick pics.
Yeah, you get things off their chest.
Yeah.
I think this is one you take to the grave.
It's true.
You know?
You don't have to laugh. That just makes it even worse.
Well,
I do too. I think you need to just let this one, because again, like, not excusing his behavior, but you don't know what triggered it and what caused it, and that could be that's a very horrible situation when someone's
Yeah,
dealing
I
with
think
terminal
in this
cancer.
situation, the friend is dire. There's nothing that can be gained from having this conversation at this point.
I think honestly, you should just focus on the time you have left with your friend and the positive aspects of it.
Yeah.
And leave all the negativity that surrounds your relationship, which is her husband included, out the door, because you don't want to spend your last minutes with your friend, or days or months. You don't want to spend those feeling that way. You want to spend them enjoying, reflecting.
Yeah. And let's say they did have an open type situation and you told her this happened 2 years ago and she said, bitch, why are you bringing it up now? I knew.
Right. That could come to nip you in the butt too.
Yeah. So
Or it's not nip you in the butt, it's nip you in the bud.
bud, like you're pruning a plant.
Yeah, you want to say bite you in the ass.
I always said
bite
nip
you in the butt.
I always said nip you in the butt.
You say that a lot, actually.
I do.
I think
nip you
people
in
know
the
what
butt.
you mean. T and D are very
I'm
similar.
Producer
A.
Producer John's taking notes.
Right? Well, people have to correct me or else I'm going to say it like that all the time.
Work on your diction.
No, I'm saying
Oh, you
legit.
work on your diction.
I am
will.
legit saying nip you in the butt. There's no.
There you go. You made it your own. See?
Yeah.
I had a friend, Emily, we talked about her last podcast. She to this day says supposedly.
Supposedly.
It's supposedly. Those little mistakes that just make you seem so stupid, don't they?
But back to her letter.
Don't tell her. Don't
Don't
tell
tell
her.
Don't tell her.
Look, that's 3 for 3. Don't tell her.
And you know what? After after she's gone, and if it's still bothering you, then address it with him, and get mad if you need to. People will heal in different ways, and you know what? Like I think right now you have to be the least selfish person possible, and that involves you not telling her.
Yeah.
But change your thinking on
But
it.
after she's gone, you can be selfish again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
And
because
then you can
Drop a bombshell, go rank on the
just
husband.
lean
and-
right into him.
Yeah.
Slap him if you want. He
Yeah.
deserves to be slapped.
But
her situation's not that indifferent to one that I deal with in my personal life.
Oh.
I'm adopted. I know my biological mother. My biological father never told his family about me.
oh,
So I live with this knowledge that, and I'm encouraged by my biological mother's side to contact them. And no, there's nothing.
I've heard that a lot from adopted
There's
kids.
nothing to be gained if and he's passed on. So if there's nothing to be gained, what possible benefit
The
do
only
I
benefit
have?
she would get out is her guilt being lifted.
But that's more for the friend. That's more
Right.
for the woman writing the letter
Yes.
than it is for the friend who's passing
If
away.
you claim you love
the friend
her,
who's passing away, ignorance is bliss, and let her
Yeah.
just die peacefully.
and if you claim
happy
you love
and-
her that much, I don't think you should tell her. And honestly, if I was the friend and I was dying and that this was the situation, I don't think I'd want to know
that's right.
because
I
I'm going
agree.
to haunt his ass anyway.
This might be the first letter that we actually gave sound advice because I think the person that wrote us needs to just change her thinking on it, and you're actually being less selfish by keeping it to yourself.
I agree.
And I think her selfishness is, and we're not saying being selfish in a bad way, actually.
no.
I think her selfishness is consuming her on top of the emotions of finding out that she's sick, that you're just panicking.
And she's feeling like the other woman,
Right.
Like a tramp,
Right.
But you're not.
When at the end of the day, you didn't do anything
No, you
wrong.
shut it
You
down.
absolutely didn't.
You
Yeah.
did absolutely nothing wrong. And instead of being the other woman, you right now are this woman's friend, and you need to just focus on
And you have been
being
her
that
friend, and
woman's
you
friend.
stayed. You.
So commit, stick
Yeah.
with the role till the end.
Right. And just focus on the positive. So many times it's so easy for us to sway and focus on the negative.
It's so
So when
much-
you're
yeah.
sitting there spending time with her, instead of focusing on how guilty you feel or how bad he was, focus on what you love about her. What things you like to do together. If it's laughing and crack some jokes, like just focus on
Like I said,
the little bit of positive in this unfortunate
It
situation.
may have been a bad moment for that man. It may have been, just an error in judgment, or whatever else. It may have been a one-off.
Yeah. Don't tell her.
Yeah.
Do you really want your friend to go out of this world knowing this tidbit and thinking, oh, are they going to get together? Is she cheating with him?
She
You
has
know?
this information. Now what?
Now what?
Now
It's not
what?
going to serve any purpose.
No, all it's going to do is cause additional stress on her.
And then she might break up with the guy and die alone?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I think it's just like I would be so scared because people are delicate in that state, and I'd be so
course.
scared that my additional stress that I created when I didn't need to be created would,
It's like she's having survivor's guilt. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Because she feels guilty that she's not sick and she potentially could have cheated with her husband. And
Right.
So she's feeling all these ways. And I get it. You're not
I
wrong.
never told her, and time's running out for me to
Yes.
tell her.
And you wish you did 2 years ago, but the ship sailed. Doors closed.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't.
Such an interesting letter there.
That was really a good one.
And I'm really, again, like, I don't think anyone in this story is actually the bad guy. And I'm usually like, the guy's the bad guy.
Now wait a sec. Let me just throw something in quickly. What if what if she wasn't sick? Would you say tell her?
Yeah.
Then tell her.
Yeah. And then also face the repercussions of not telling her 2 years ago.
Right, because that's what I was getting at. Because you would face that. Why didn't you tell me 2 years ago? Now
But
you're
that's
going to have a fight.
That is your punishment for waiting 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you waited 2 years to tell me that my boyfriend was sending you dick pics, like,
Yeah.
and then you tell me because you want to clear your conscience.
But it took you 2 years to
Yeah, and then I get pissed at you. That is your punishment for having kept it for 2 years.
Yeah.
If you said it at the beginning, I probably wouldn't have been as mad at you.
But again, we can't take away the sick thing because the whole reason she's thinking about telling her 2 years later is because the wife got sick.
Right.
She would have never even considered
And that
it.
shouldn't be an excuse to tell your friend
No.
that her husband's a dirtbag.
So actually, you are kind of not a great person, writer.
Right. Well, I just...
I'm joking.
You know. I really don't think there is a bad person in this story.
Except the husband.
Because of the situation. But even with the husband, like,
Yeah.
you don't know how he's grieving and
That's
how he
right.
feels. And I just get, like, a sense of loneliness from him. Mm-hmm. Like, he felt so lonely that he needed that attention. And I know how that feels because I get lonely and then I text someone I don't want to and carry it on. And it's like, ugh,
Yeah.
you know, just because I want that attention.
You can text me anytime.
Oh my gosh. So we have a friend who's also a gay man, and he has this like super sexy, really beautiful friend too that sends him all these like really like overtly sexual Instagram stories, and then he like reposts them on his.
What?
And I,
Do I know this person?
yeah, remember I sent it to you, and I was like, "What's with him and his slutty friend?"
Oh, yes.
I was
yes.
like, "I'm sorry,
Yes,
but
yes.
this is like a little not inappropriate, but like I think she loves him."
Yes.
Because no woman sends, you know, tits out licking your lips to a platonic gay friend.
I know. I wish you would.
And that's what I said to him, and he's like, "I wish you would send more to me." And I was like, "More? I haven't even sent you one." And it's weird.
Well, gay men can appreciate women's sexuality, and we
So
like
can
hot
straight
women.
men, and that's the men who I want the attention from.
Well, I guess, but sometimes you send it to the gays because we're like your cheerleaders.
But
yes.
that's why I
no,
think she's
move
in
the
love
boob to
with
the left.
him. That's why I think she's in love with him, because I'm sorry, no woman sends those kind of things to people unless they want to attract them.
Well, and this particular woman is very pretty that she
Very
could get
pretty.
attention from any straight man.
Very pretty. She's
don't know.
very pretty. And in like a slutty, sexy way.
She likes to date Asian men. She's a white lady, and she only
likes the
dates
money.
Asian.
She likes the money.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She likes the money.
All right.
Them Asian boys. Well, where I come from, they have money.
Well, if you ever need advice on your cleavage, I'd be happy to give it to you. Same with you,
right.
Dairy Queen.
I'm always there for you.
Yes. Please feel free to write in, and if you've been listening to these Monday episodes often, you can realize that really nothing's off.
No, this
And
was our best one.
we'll always give you our honest opinion.
Yeah.
We got an email in, so we'll be covering that next week. I didn't read it yet, but I
Oh.
love when you guys start sending them in.
Yes,
it's
thank
great,
you.
and everyone's creating fake emails like this. Oh wait,
Because they know they don't trust us. They know we'll get
Hold
drunk
on.
and dime them out.
Have we ever read somebody's email on the air, though? Really?
no,
Wait.
like, we're professional.
But if
Wait.
it makes you feel safer, then
See,
so be
this
it.
one's a fake email because it came in from.
well, don't say
We're
it.
about to
What if
read
that,
an
that
email
one
on
seems
the
real.
air.
Is it?
Well, that's I don't know.
Well, we got one from like Fred Single, you know. So yeah,
Fred Single.
that was the one a couple weeks back.
Huh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
if you feel safer, create an email address.
Yes, create a fake email address. Give us a shout. Jesse and Jenna's Messy Podcast at gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Instagram. You can hit us up on Facebook. And you can also interact with us live on only on Twitch episode every Sunday between 2 and 2:30. So that's twitch.tv/Blast the Radio.
Now, and you're welcome to use the Blast the Radio channel anytime, but do you want to
We
just...
will start one. We're just testing it out
Okay.
right now. We want to see how
We're
many of
dipping
you
our toes
are
in.
really interested. And, you know, we're still in school, so...
Yeah, well, you are.
Yeah. Once you're going to see a lot of changes coming up in the next, you know, in 2020. 2020, that's so insane.
Can you believe that meme I posted? If you were born in the 80s, that means you've
Yeah.
lived in 4 decades and you're not even 40 yet.
Oh, no, it's something way better than that. You just ruined it.
Yeah, I posted it on our... Okay, go
Did
find
you
it.
post
It's on
it on our
page.
page?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm 6 decades in.
Yeah, you might...
Jesse.
yeah. No, but see, this why there was other layers
You
to
made
it.
me do the math.
That's kind of cool, though.
Is it?
If you were born in the 80s and raised in the 90s and make it to 2020, you've lived in 4 different decades, 2 different centuries, and 2 different millennias, and you're not even 40 yet.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
We're badass.
We are badass. All right. Thank you so much for writing in. And we send our deepest condolences to you,
yes.
your friend, even that dirty husband, because, I know grieving and trauma can make people do things that are out of characteristic. So I do want to give this man a benefit of the doubt and think that he's not a complete dirtball and that he's just having a hard time coping.
And it doesn't mean he doesn't love his wife. If
No.
he's now, wait, miracles can happen. Maybe the friend will recover, and then you'll have to message us again because that opens a whole other.
Yeah.
never
Now
know.
what?
Yeah. Now what?
And let's hope that does
Sister
happen.
wives.
Let's
Yeah.
hope that happens.
I hope
We
so.
hope for the best for your friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.